sorry. You know what you do to me. I'm sorry. Tell me what it's like to feel the deep. And I know I might crash out by the week.
All right, I'm not the only brother doing synth pop. That was Cash Star, aka what's his name, Pop Boy or something like that. I don't want to mess it up, but Cash Star was sorry. He's doing synth pop. I found him on Instagram. Figured I would big him up, big up his music, especially since I'm gonna borrow a lot from his marketing. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. He just one of these guys posts his music all the time on Instagram. I came across him, like, oh, cool, it's another brother doing synth pop. So I'm like, all right, I fucks with it. Apparently, the Kanye fans are here. Appreciate you being here, Ascension Dildo. Ordered a piece of Adam Silver, traded it all to the Lakers. Was he gonna trade Giannis and Jokic and everybody else who's pissed off to the Lakers? Who knows? But you haven't been around. I'm actually planning to drop this month. I'm just, putting the so-called finishing touches on it, and then I don't know what the process is of releasing, so I don't know how long everything takes, but that's the plan. I was wondering about a lot of these trades. I don't know if anyone's going to go nowhere. Like, do you keep giving up all these fucking draft picks to lose? The last time one of these trades worked was Kawhi Leonard. That's 2019. It's about to be 2026. Like, you realize that? And then before that, okay, when KD joined you talking about some last decade shit. This shit hasn't really worked for this decade. I'm going to release on Spotify and Apple Music. My plan, though, is I'm probably going to release to Bandcamp and YouTube earlier. And then so it'll predate the Spotify release. And then I'm going to get a site together and release it on there as well. But yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and use the Spotify and the other forms of stuff. Because it's like, well, why not? You know what I mean? These are the official things. I already know which distributor I'm going to use. I don't know which PRO I'm going to use. I got to do a little more research between ASCAP and BMI, one of them. And then go from there. Let me see. One dude from Serbia, that's true. The Serbian farmer. Where's he? Oh, horse farmer. Where's he gonna go? Is he want to stay in Denver? Denver's got to blow that thing up. There are a lot of middle management scams around. That's the thing. All of them are scams. DistroKid and CD Baby are scams. Spotify itself is a scam. It's just, what do you do? So he ain't going nowhere. Well, somebody's got. They gonna keep running it back with MPJ and what's the dude that hates y'all? Hate the Lakers. I can't think of right now. I got stream brain. Jamal Murray. No, they got. I don't know. Jamal Murray. I guess he's been a little bit healthier the recent years, but he hasn't been as good. Like, listen, unless he's playing LA with some hate in his heart, I don't know what the city of Los Angeles did to him. But he's just a guy. Like, he's cool. I don't want to totally show Jamal Murray. He gets buckets. But, like, there's a reason he's never been an all-star. Part of his injury and part of it is just he's not that good. And you know what? One thing I was thinking of, if the Knicks, and they just lost yesterday. Was it yesterday? If the Knicks don't win or the day before. Actually, are they playing now? I've been paying so little attention. You said Aaron Gordon is better than him. I would keep Aaron Gordon. I would keep him. You definitely want to keep a big around to help. Hey, Cotton. Yo, I don't know what they're doing. I keep seeing all this because they got that goofy bitch, Caitlin Clark. They're pushing the shit out of her. Listen, you can get as many black girls to talk shit about her as you want. I'm not watching women's basketball. You can do all the race baiting. Yeah, exactly what they are. They're race baiting. You can do all the race baiting with Caitlin Clark you want. I'm not watching women's basketball. It's slick marketing. I'm not going to watch women's basketball trying to make it some ethno-political bullshit. Nah, I'm good. And it's like, come on with this Angel Reese shit. This bitch can't hoop. And everybody with eyes knows this. And anytime somebody try to defend this hoe, I know it's just because they want to fuck her. Because there's no other reason to defend this bitch as far as her basketball game. She has no skill. She cannot hit layups. There are girls in college that are better than her at being a big. This is bullshit. Baby Giraffe, yeah. She cannot hoop. There are other hoopers that are better than her. You're going to pick somebody else. If you want this little rivalry, you got to pick a different rivalry. She ain't it. But I'm still not. You need 500 Caitlin Clarks. How you doing, lovely Sherry? I'm talking about why WNBA is useless. And not one Caitlin Clark is not enough. Because you know how many. And the NBA sucks, by the way, right now. The NBA is trash. And they have like 400 Caitlin Clarks. Right? And you have like one. Again, yeah, they got 500 Angel Reeses. Bitches missing layups and shit. Oh, man, I appreciate everybody showing up. At first, it didn't show that many people. So I'm like, I didn't know if anyone will show up. I'm never going to care just because, I'm never going to care about WNBA just because it's Caitlin Clark shit. And I've made videos on it. Maybe you haven't seen them because only God knows. I actually saw a video said using a VPN when you post might help with if there is a shadow banning thing, which I don't know. We'll find out. Not sporty, but I'm still laughing. Everybody in this chat is better than Angel Reese at basketball. I'm telling you. I can't believe they passed this shit. I mean, come on, man. And it's like, whatever, man. I get that's what's hot in the streets, you know, literally. Is ethno-political jargon, different forms of fatigue and all that. Different people you should howl according to the pop songs. It's just, I don't care, man. I don't care. And I get it works as a way of marketing, but I recognize it's marketing. Like, if they can get white people mad because of these mean old black lesbians talking about Caitlin Clark, they might get a few people to watch the shit. And then, you know, there's always those like super hoop nerds that keep trying to gas up the WNBA. They're like semi-woke, semi-feminist. Well, it's just, you know, it's good. No, it's not good basketball. These hoes can't. If they were hitting layups and mid-range jumpers, you know, lots been made where they can't dunk. Fuck can't dunk. These hoes cannot hit jump shots and layups consistently. They cannot hit layups consistently. Wide open layups consistently. It is a hard to watch game. Them dunking, that's a trillion steps. If you can complete half of the steps in between that, where, okay, every girl can hit a layup. If every girl in the WNBA can consistently hit a layup, you will have a much better product. If every girl can hit their free throws, you'll have a much better product. If every girl can hit mid-range, you have a much better product. And then you got a few that can hit threes. Now you got at least a product that somebody can pay attention to. I mean, we could do a low-light tape. I'm not bullshitting. They forced it in manufacturing rivalry. And then the other rival. And I don't know if it's some black humiliation ritual. I haven't checked the numerology and the ancestors, and this is Marcus Garvey's birthday. I don't know. But Angel Reese can't play. She's goonery. That's the thing. People want to fuck her. Shaq wants to fuck her, and other people want to fuck. For all I know, is a fucking dude just like Clark. But motherfuckers, women's wrestling, they get there and they stop working. That's also true. That get there. A lot of top motherfuckers get there and they stop working. Richard Cotton doesn't give a fuck, and nor should anyone. Because there's one girl in college that looked at least decent as a post. She's like a bigger girl, but she was light skinned. Look like Zach Randolph. Her game, but just this rivalry. I don't know why we started with that. I don't talk about that. I don't know. It's just I said this a year ago. I called this out a year ago when they started. They don't deserve to have men flooding. They allegedly already got men in the league. So Shia she's leading the league rebound. Yeah, keep getting her own rebound, and they keep pushing this shit. Like, stop. So, oh no, you had said something about flooding your timeline, and it was flooding mine too. That's why we started talking about this. But hey, marketing dollars are marketing dollars. That's just how the game works. This is a league being subsidized by another league. And so they're doing everything they can to keep, I guess they got 11 minutes of my time and the 7-8 of us. We're able to talk about, so they're doing big things now. But I don't know. Like I said, I could play a low light tape. But I appreciate just anybody being here, man. I love you guys. I haven't been able to stream and won't be able to stream because I got some family stuff going on next week. I'll probably stream up to maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So I guess I'll stream for the next week. And then after that, I'll be gone a week. Missing shots on welfare. Oh, jeez. Well, then again, the league is literally on welfare, so that's not an exaggeration. The league is literally a welfare league. It does not make enough money to sustain itself. But yeah, not wrong at all. And then just like the weird, like, okay, Diana Taurasi existed this entire time, and she was white, and there was no issue. Like, there was no big deal made, and then they're just making a big deal with her. I'm like, I don't get it. Now she's like, I get that visually she's probably the best women's player that I've seen. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe there's another one coming up. But, like, I just don't get why they picked her. Maybe she's a Freemason. I don't know. She was an asshole. I don't even know that much about Diana Taurasi. I remember her in college at Connecticut, and I didn't keep up with WNBA. And I remember her kissing a chick, and she was like a kind of a bush lesbian. I guess the rumor is Clark is not, but I mean, I don't believe that. I think that's a dude, but it may not be. It may just be a gangly white girl. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if most of those dudes is dudes in the WNBA. It just wouldn't. But let's just say not, right? Okay, cool. Still not gonna watch. We need a lot of transvestigations. Shit, speaking of college basketball, you ever see Big Mike's brother? Who's was it Craig Robinson? He's a former college basketball coach. Very weird looking dude. They'll take over your life. I could become a transvestigation channel. I might do better than what I'm doing. If they were dudes, they'd be better at hooping. That's true. That is true. Greenland selling the South time to invade. Oh no. What happened with Greenland? Orange Man Podcast. No, what happened with Greenland? I ain't paying no fucking attention to that. Is it gonna be red, white, and blue land? Imagine I invade a country because of 50,000 people. No, we shouldn't invade Greenland. That'd be like, I don't know what the stakes are, but I would hate to start wars over Greenland. Like, the fuck. Reality cold women hoopers always get blacklisted by WNBA, so they can so the WNBA can be baby. It wouldn't shock me. I mean, we've talked about how the NBA is just an AAU league, and it's AAU Nepo baby league. Bronny James is a symptom, not a he. What's Jalen Brunson's dad? Like, at what point do y'all realize, damn, everybody's dad played in the league? All of them? All the time? Every single body has a relative in the league? That's a bit, that's suspect. That's strange. And everybody's connected to each other and knew each other. Like, what is going on? The fucking Freemason NBA. So if they doing that with the women, but they can't afford to. Hey, Scrambles, appreciate you being here. But they can't afford to because there's not enough good women. Keep trying not to hear horrific shit coming out the Diddy trial. That sounds like a nightmare. I did make one video on Diddy. I'm not going to go too much into it. But yeah, 50,000 people is barely a football stadium. Brandon Holland. Barely a there's football stadiums that seat more than 50,000. Yeah, Jason Tatum's babysitters, Bradley Bill. That, the Diddy stuff is bad sounding, but I don't know unless I'm missing something. Like, okay, if Justin or nobody young is going to testify, maybe somebody is. Maybe somebody's going to testify that we don't know of, and it's going to change it. But from what I see, man, I don't think they have a case or a strong enough case to indict them. And then there's the strange things of this is supposed to be a RICO charge. RICO is criminal organization, right? What criminal organization is he getting charged by himself? How come he has no co-conspirators, right, for all these parties? And again, what criminal activity is taking for? It's taking place. You want to know the truth about this Diddy party shit? I don't know how they get a conviction without indicting themselves. So I see this just being one big humiliation ritual and him getting out. Because what the Diddy parties really were a CIA blackmail operation. And yes, a lot of these motherfuckers get their kinks on this weird shit too. And they'll let us know some of the crazy details and some of the celebrities get their names slandered. But as far as action, unless they're willing to say, hey, Diddy passes on information to the CIA or the Mossad, and here's the hard drive with it, unless they're going to do that type of shit, unless somebody young is going to testify, all it is a bunch of disturbing, weird, freaky shit. And then, the GHB and the baby oil, we're ever going to get to that. Everyone talks about the baby oil. Why is it spiked? So, I don't know. Maybe he gets convicted of a couple things, but it's time served sort of thing. Or as the kids would say, type shit. Maybe it's something like that. At best. Because I just don't see, they have not shown me that Puffy is this mega sex trafficker. He's shown himself to be a sexual deviant, but I don't know if that's illegal. Free Puffy, lock up Cassie and her husband. I could not be her husband. The fuck is Greenland gonna do? Deploy Beluga Wells as the Navy? Well, you can't just bully Greenland. What did they do for this? Yeah, he does obviously have PTSD, so I don't know how that would work. There's a whole bunch of felonies there, sex trafficking, drug charges at least. So, okay, where did he get this drugs from? Where did they move? What happened? Other people's names have to be implicated and brought up on charges for anything. You're telling me this guy was running Bad Boy and all of a sudden it was also, he was running Bad Boy, running all these brands, and had the time to be Jeffrey Epstein, the whole guy by himself with no Maxwell, no assistants, nobody, just him as a one-man Epstein cruise with no tapes of anything and any evidence. Like, what is going on here? It's as suspicious as Ghislaine Maxwell being indicted for trafficking nobody to nobody. It's the same sort of vibe. And it's the U.S. government. They can do whatever the fuck they want, right? They don't have to follow the law. But unless they're going to give up some more information that will indict what these operations are, and they still exist. I'm looking at you, Michael Rubin. Then it's like, well, I don't know what happens here. I don't see anything crazy sticking, but we'll see. Had a damn good line, but I forgot it all. Oh, well, Jammer. Appreciate it. Yeah, the assault. But yeah, we already knew all this. And, I'm not saying it's cool to kick a girl in the stomach, but that's not being a head of a criminal sex trafficking organization. That's just kicking a girl in the stomach. That's fucked up. But yeah. So far, that's what the evidence is. Just a bunch of young celebrities who are horny. And shit, what happened with J-Lo? Allegedly her and Batfleck broke up over this shit. Jamalama Ding Dong says Ascension Dildo. Blackmail doesn't work. You're right. If you give up all the info, both sides lose. And I don't understand why you indict a blackmail agent though. Just because he over some liquor? Because that's allegedly the reason that he had some dispute with Ciroc, and so they just started attacking him. But it's like, well, hey, bro, are you willing to you can't give up what this whole operation is. I wish they could. I wish they could let the people know, yeah, this is not just some crazy party, or this is a literal blackmailing operation that includes political figures, celebrities, high-ranking businessmen, all sorts of people, that movers and shakers, the real movers and shakers, and compromise positions in order to do things for the powers that be, we'll just say. Right? You want to say the United States government, the intelligence agencies, whatever. And that's what this really is. And the freaky stuff and the celebrity shit, that's just you think you know, but you have no idea. That's one layer under the industry. There's other layers under it. This is all one big intelligence operation. You know what I'm saying? And it always has been. Look up the Beatles and Tavistock Institute. You know, they've always been planting, you know, you talk about this industry plant. The whole industry is made up of plants. It's nothing but plants. It's a fucking garden. It's an industry garden. Nothing but plants. Upset your girlfriend, like the friend, her post, cleavage on YouTube. Hope you okay, man. She's in the doghouse. The lawyer making convincing case that they got him for RICO. So I'm not watching any of the legal stuff. My question, as somebody who's not watching, is how can they have a RICO case with no organization? Like, where's the rest of this criminal organization? Where's shouldn't he have co-conspirators? And what criminal act were they committing in concert as an organization? Like, what were they doing? Was it just sex trafficking? Like, where's the money? Where's the, hey, you know, these, I mean, they are talking about some escorts peeing in people's mouths and all this crazy shit, but like, where's the, like, and again, I'm not watching it. Maybe there's more to be said on a week-to-week, day-to-day stuff if you're watching this shit, or if you're watching like a legal breakdown that I just don't know. Unless he makes some deal. Liking thirst posts is gay. You know what? Invade Denmark. What did Denmark do? Jury doesn't need to solve the crime. They just need to present solid evidence. Fair enough. Why is everyone afraid of these bullshit NDAs? There's something behind it. Someone eventually will say, come at me, bro. I'm talking anyway. I don't know the rule. Well, allegedly an NDA does not have to be enforced in a criminal trial. Am I wrong about that? If it's a criminal activity, the NDA isn't beholden to that. Or am I right or wrong? Right or wrong? Going to get that Ozempic for free? Oh yeah, they do make Ozempic. Just like in your friend's post. I feel you. That's why I don't do social media. You might accidentally make a mistake. You don't even know it. When you realize the Epstein cohort wrote all the school textbook. Oh shit. Well, yeah. And isn't it interesting how the schools look at kids nowadays? We're always seeing some weird shit with the teachers and the students. Said Masada get pissy. Exactly. I don't think they're gonna give up anything. We'll see. Maybe they can still put them in jail without, you know, it's the government. They put motherfuckers in jail for less. So they could definitely put them in jail without giving things up. But it's like, for real, from what I see, it seems like, again, not watching it every day, it don't seem like he's the head of no criminal organization, because I just don't know what's going on. And maybe you guys have already told me, so let me keep scrolling. And social engineering, yeah, that's what this shit's really about. Using celebrities for social engineering, using high-profile people for whatever they need for. I'm a law nurse, you can't help it, fair enough. Maybe getting rid of DirecTV. So how am I watching NFL? A college game? Stream East, that's how I watch it. Hey, Real Way, I saw you had some clips. I didn't hear no Obama news. And I may get those palate cleansers. Criminal organization will stop at Diddy and not name people above him. Yeah, I still, you know, infamously, Clive Davis was the guy known to do the same thing. Infamously had the party where Whitney dies in the same hotel. And he's having a Grammy party, and they know that she's dead, and they keep the party going before removing her body out the hotel. Not that that's weird or anything. Sounds like you shouldn't be beholden to it in those circumstances. That's what I would think. I think an NDA doesn't hold up in a criminal case. Can't remember details, but he was convincing. I heard other people talk like he's a sacrifice in those cults. That's true. Nothing will surprise me in the outcome. NDAs do not cover criminal acts. Okay. They need a court order. See an NDA to stop anyone. Free Diddy. You know, I used to like, okay, whatever. And honestly, part of me still says, you know, I have enough knowledge to know that a lot of it's serious. But part of me says, yeah, unless y'all gonna really peek, show a real peek behind the curtain. Because all y'all convinced me is that he's just a rich dude who's freaky. Biden, I did see something like that he's supposedly sick of cancer. If he was even here, allegedly. But, you know, that's sad to hear. But I think I did see a post. First man to die. I think I saw that post. I'm not, you know, I didn't look into it to verify stuff. I just doom scroll and keep going. Well, I don't know. Death is still death, right? Still, rise out, gotta go. Man, it's crazy. It makes me think he's already gone, and they're just feeding us a story, and he'll be gone. You know, they just need somebody to pass out the rest of last year, and yeah, it's just some old bullshit. Apparently, his condition would have presented itself years ago, so there's no way they didn't. Yeah, Hunter Biden restored his ashes. He's reanimated. He's a reaniman. What's this? Wait. There's something. What? Is this the Obama news? Wait. Hold on. I'm trying to. Let's see. This is all the details we're getting. Is kind of absurd, silly shit. Sean Combs, Jesus, took ecstasy shaped like Obama face. Like, what the fuck? But like, what is? These are the stories that we're hearing. That's what makes me think this is some bullshit, man. Like, that's funny and all, but it's like, okay. Again, where's this criminal organization? Who's involved? They ain't even giving up celebrity names, except this Cassie ho, and I guess is supposed to be her kid Cudi is supposed to testify. The media just switching narratives. Yeah, that's what it really is. The media just switching narratives from about Biden. I think he was already sick, or already, like I said, I think he might already be out of here. Where Michael B. Jordan? What happened to Michael B. Jordan? Radio synthesis is scary. What's radio synthesis? What are we talking about here now? Watch the Nate video. Be right back. Okay. Life forms that survive off radiation. Oh boy, that's. I hope not to. I hope to never think of that again. Nuclear zombies surviving the fallout. That sounds horrible. I'd rather die. And shout out to whoever just showed up. We got a few people in the chat. 11 people in the chat. We're just talking Diddy, Biden, all the stuff that I guess people have to talk about. I don't know. Radiosynthesis is like photosynthesis, but uses radiation. Okay. Sun is just radiation. Just you, hey, LDG. Appreciate you being here. Better, you know. Appreciate you. Discovered at Chernobyl. Oh, man. It's a palate cleanser. Time. What is it? Let me see what you got. I'm gonna preview it first. You have to let's see if it passes. What is this? Okay, I don't think that's the first one. I don't know. Helldivers. I don't know. I don't understand Helldivers.
Our citizens depend on you for their safety.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass on both. I'm sorry. Sorry, wait. I'm gonna go ahead and pass. Palate cleanser is a hose. Read the title. You know I am. Nope. Man, what are the titles? No, it's like palate is your mouth. Palate cleanser, like, okay, the stuff we talking about, which, you know, when we needed a palate cleanser was that damn Buffalo police thing, which I think I'm gonna make a video on. I thought about clipping stuff out. I think it's easier if I just make a whole video on it, and maybe just cut up clips of that podcast. But yeah, like that's when you need a palate cleanser. Like we just watched that disturbing story, and for those who don't know, the Buffalo school system doesn't report incidences to the police that they should, and it's a gross underreporting, and a lot of abuse goes on that never gets reported. So, short title makes sense for Helldivers. I see. Hold on. Sorry, my Twitch had the wrong thing. I just tried to do a check to see if anything's on Twitch. You know, I just realized that you guys' texts aren't coming up. That's my fault. Being lazy and just forgetting. So hopefully, I mean, usually we only get bots on Twitch and Kick. Yeah, drinking water in between. That's what it really comes from. Like, okay, you eat something, a palate cleanser, but sometimes that's said as a, like, okay, we just talked about the story and stuff. So, I mean, the news does. They might talk about a triple homicide, then try to talk about something that's more positive to kind of lighten up the mood, so to speak. But yeah, sex slavery is a tough subject, especially, you know, consider how deep this shit is. It's not, again, I've said this a million times. It's not just Diddy. It's not just the entertainment industry. This is a huge thing. This is a huge thing. So, you know. Oh, there you go. There you got it. So this is a huge thing. But we'll see what happens. I'm probably not going to cover it. I mean, I'll talk about it, but it's cold as fuck. Oh, man. It's starting to get hot in Houston. I'm sorry to hear that. It's a record for how cold it rainy is. Damn, it's almost June. Where some topics make your phone pop up prompts for turn your location on. Whoa. Yeah, global warming. Yeah, you guys both said that. Yeah, global cooling. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's super hot here in Houston. Golly, it's starting to get real hot. Hasn't been this cold since 1967. Damn. Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. What is in a psychiatric hospital with a woman, damn, who was sex trafficked. I'm sorry to hear that. Both that you were in a psychiatric hospital and that, you know, that happened to that woman. And it was like 49 degrees and it's almost June. Yeah, it feels like December. That's crazy. That's fucking nuts. What the hell's going on in Canada? And yeah, you know, sex trafficking is crazy. And I don't know. That's a crazy game. You know, I mean, shit. But this doesn't cover any of it, man. I could have played. Tim Tebow apparently has some foundation against child sex trafficking. Man, he has some horrifying statistics. He did an interview. I couldn't even tell you what podcast, but he had some horrifying statistics about children being trafficked and abused. Most of the abuse coming from their family and from fathers. And another horrible statistic, he had this map that showed every IP address that has accessed child porn. I guess, you know, I hate self-censoring myself. I shouldn't have did it because this is a fucked up situation, a fucked up word. It's a fucked up world. And so it's basically the U.S. map, and it was mostly full. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a fucked up thing. And this Canada surrendered. You think it's a U.S. plot to freeze out Canada? Could be. Trump deployed a weather control weapon against Canada? Maybe. Maybe. Stranger things has happened. And we do know weather controls happen. It ain't like they haven't used weather control to take over other land that was already a part of America. Looking at you, Maui. Looking at you, LA. Maybe that was a little more sophisticated. And yeah, most of these cases are family related. It's going all it's family. We talked a lot about these schools. Just talked about them. It's people close to you. It's not going to be some stranger danger shit does happen. But most of the time, it's going to be family or school or family friend or something like that. Sound of Freedom. I heard of it, heard the premise, but I did not see it. Very emotional, sad, angering, but tackling the subject of child trafficking. Highly recommend that movie. Crazy stuff. And again, is that stuff going to be breaching this Diddy thing? Since that was kind of the thing we started back to go back to that, I doubt it. Justin Bieber said he's not going to testify and said that he wasn't abused. I doubt Usher's going to say anything different. I doubt anybody who was abused and successful is going to say anything different. And again, we know this is a part of the industry. Movies too. You said we were so close to World War III, Brandon Holland. You can always listen to Kanye's World War III if you like. You drive gas, your face will burn off. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't. It's still crazy they're trying to attack. I mean, listen, I get there's a finite amount of fossil fuels. I get the expense, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet for this everything electric. Like our grid can't handle that. And now that that's like should be widespread knowledge, I don't even know why we're playing around with all this carbon shit. I mean, I know why, because it's a means of control, but it's so unrealistic and it's such bullshit. Again, it's just a means of control. Carbon taxes and allegedly your social credit score and everything goes up. You spent too much. That's enough carbon for you. Eat the bugs, own nothing and like it, all that good stuff. It's all a part of that shit, but craziness. See, I'm sorry it's so cold in the D. Or cold, yeah, all BSU. It is. But it's cold out there. It's wealth transfer, but it's stupid. We have long recorded weather history. Whatever we got now is no big deal. Yeah, you guys you'll survive. All jokes aside, as far as like that one doomer sent me earlier on the scam. I got you caught in the scam. Yeah, instead of gram, fuck the gram. Electric cars don't bother me. What bothers me is government. Yeah, that's what I mean. Trying to force us to use these cars when you know that one, like you said, means of control. They can just stop your car, which they can do with a lot of gas cars. But still, like you said, wealth extraction. Listen, if you want to let your car, I get it to some extent, because if it's like, hey, if I'm patient, I don't have to pay for gas ever again. I could go to these fill-up stations or whatever they're called, because they got one by my house. Station you could plug your electric car in, or you plug your Tesla in, and it's like, okay, you can do that, and some people may be cool doing that. I don't even remember which podcast. I sent you so much crap, unfortunately. I don't even remember which one. Watch the first half, break it down real well. Okay, we can watch some of this. We can watch some of this. Well,
when you run a business, it's not always easy to get where you want to go. That's why it's good to have a dependable partner nearby.
Oh, Jesus
always
Christ.
ready and available.
Oh, the one about marriage bots? Oh, shit. I don't know what he was talking about. See, I never heard of Nate the Lawyer. I'll be watching a lot of this legal stuff. I know it blew up when the Amber Heard trial happened. We can EFAP some of this. Turn it up a little. Oops.
Channel, and we are about to break down the first week of the Diddy trial, and I'm going to straight up tell you, it looks like Diddy's going to jail for life. Let's break it down.
Okay. So he has a different opinion than me. He's a legal expert, allegedly. That's lawyer in his name. Let's see.
All right, so with this video, I want to explain to you what the charges are in the Diddy trial, how the government is going about proving those charges, and whether they've been successful at demonstrating any of this criminal activity. Now, if you're watching this video, I assume you know who P. Diddy is, so I'm just going to get straight into what's going on.
Okay.
So when we're talking about P. Diddy's criminal trial, we're talking about 5 charges, but really 3 separate crimes. Okay, so the first count is racketeering conspiracy. To prove racketeering conspiracy by the government, you need to know the existence of the enterprise, Bad Boy Entertainment, or for instance, if it's the mafia, you got to prove the mob act.
So racketeering, hold on.
Actually exists, Bad Boy Entertainment, or for
Racketeering conspiracy, existence of an enterprise. Okay.
if it's the mafia, you got to prove the mob actually exists, or if it's a street gang, you prove the street gang exists, the Bloods, for instance. You also need an agreement to participate by the defendant, and you need a pattern of racketeering activity. Now,
Whoa, slow down, Nate. This third one is the one thing, and maybe he is going to explain it, but just to explain myself why I would even say, you know, what all the shit was saying that why I think he might be innocent. It's that pattern of racketeering activity. And then even the existence of an enterprise. Yes, we know he owns Bad Boy Records, but no one else is being tried for any crime. So what other criminal co-conspirators are there? Like, an enterprise is not one man. I'll watch. I have to EFAP it for the sake of not getting copyright claims. I got to say something. What the fuck? I got to pause it and say stuff in between instead of just playing somebody's video. You know what I mean? That's a YouTube thing. I don't think he's innocent at all. And I'm not trying to take up from him. I'm just saying he's going through his points. I'm explaining why I even have why I think there's a chance he might get off. I'm probably wrong, and I'll probably find that out, but I'm just explaining myself as we do it. No, it's fine. I gotta, that's the whole YouTube thing. Now, maybe they won't claim it, and it doesn't matter, but that they tell you to pause. For every 15 to 30 seconds, I'm going to pause it and then just make a point. just to YouTube. So, yeah, I'm not somebody, Rasheed Rice. I do not know who that is. It sounds familiar, though. But there's no infrastructure for going back to electric cars. There is no infrastructure for the cars. If our grid cannot handle everyone having an electric car, and they obviously do not work as trucks as well as diesel trucks work. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So anyways, this is where I'm like, and I've just heard a bunch of crazy stuff like everybody else. I haven't been in depth in the trial. Nate probably has, but these are my two. Well, this is why I think maybe he has a chance of getting off. Pause. I'll probably use anything. No Diddy, even though we're talking about Diddy. This is why tis a Kabar. He ain't innocent. He in the dollars. Oh yeah, it is a Kabar. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. The Clinton's name got dropped. I see. We don't even have these financial laws in Canada, so I can't speak to this part. I see. So it's just like we'll see. So let Nate talk.
Activity. Now, with this last one, this pattern of racketeering activity, you may hear the term RICO predicates.
You could use it as probable cause for a warrant, couldn't you? Evidence of extortion, intent to defraud. Those are RICO predicates, right?
Now, there are about 23 different crimes that the government's alleging that P. Diddy did, and here are some of those crimes, like sex trafficking, forced...
Okay. I just want to look at this. Uses expansive multimedia empire as a criminal enterprise with the help of associates and employees. I would love to know about the associates. We'll see how many associates we find out about. To engage or attempt to engage. Okay. Interesting. And crimes including sex trafficking, kidnapping, forced labor, arson, bribery, incitement to engage in prostitution, obstruction of justice oversight. Okay.
Labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. And the government, again, just has to prove 2 of those things to get a conviction of the RICO statute. Then you also have sex trafficking by force, which we are going to go over in detail. And we also have transportation to engage in prostitution, which is known as the Mann Act, which essentially means you're paying for prostitutes to cross state lines. And we'll go into detail, which we're of the RICO statute. Then you also...
It says sex trafficking of or by for. Okay, I was like, what? Because again, I've noticed I didn't know anyone young, but I read it wrong. So
sex trafficking by force, which we are going to go over in detail.
It doesn't look like
we'll
anyone
also
young
have
is
transportation
testifying
to engage in prostitution, which is known as the Mann Act, which essentially means you're paying for prostitutes to cross state lines. And we'll go into detail with that count too. So at the end of the day, these 3 individual charges and 5 counts overall are what the government is seeking to prove to put P. Diddy away for life. Now, to prove their case, the government has 5 witnesses this first week. The first is and we'll go into detail.
Sorry, I hate to do this again, but I just want to see.
So at the end of the day, these 3 individual charges:
racketeering, conspiracy, transportation to engage in prostitution, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or origin. So these are the 3 cases they had to prove. Let's see.
5 counts overall are what the government is seeking to prove to put P. Diddy away for life. Now, to prove their case, the government has started with calling 5 witnesses this first week. The first is Israel Flores. He's a former assistant security director at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, and now he is an LAPD officer. Now, the Intercontinental Hotel is where Diddy was caught on video beating Cassie, and he's a security guard.
That's already interesting. Okay. Just that this guy who was, okay, it's not totally uncommon for people who are security to be involved with law enforcement one way or another, but it's just interesting. This guy went from just happened to be the security guy, and when Diddy is doing what he was doing, what the hell?
Responded to Cassie's
happened to be that guy,
and he's also
LAPD.
seen in that video. Next up is a man named Daniel Phillip. He's a former male escort and exotic performer. Now, being a male escort, Phillip testified that he participated in multiple freak-offs involving Cassie, and that he felt that Cassie at sometimes was not a willing participant in the freak-offs. Next, you had Diddy's longtime girlfriend, Cassie. She's a singer.
Okay, let's. I kind of got to catch up with you guys. But that was. So he's testifying that she was not a willing participant. Obama's was named. Kai's a rapper, which I think he already explained. Yeah, he's a rapper, and he passed. His wife ratted on him. They forced into group. See, hey, you getting good at Kenshi? That's what's up, Fizz. A lot lighter than this dark shit. Sounds like he's fucked the burden of proof is not that high. Well. It does sound like they have a stronger case already, but it does kind of like you can't keep getting away with this. Like, y'all can't keep getting away with making these situations seem like it's just one lone wolf when we know it's deeper. You can't keep getting away with Hollywood getting off the hook every time and giving you a Diddy or a Weinstein or a Cosby or R. Kelly, whoever the fuck. Hollywood as a whole, the entertainment industry as a whole, gets off pause or gets away with it again. And it's like, God damn it. You're going to do it again, aren't you? You're going to put this guy away. No one's going to feel sorry, which you shouldn't. I'm not saying I feel sorry for this guy. But for fuck's sake, no, that doesn't stop with this guy. It doesn't stop with the crazy shit we're going to hear. And only God knows what we're being distracted from while we cover this. Only God knows what we should be talking about that's way more important. You know, what's the Ghislaine Maxwell under this? Referring to how when we had the Amber Heard trial, it was the same time as the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. So appreciate you being here, Rowan. So yeah, it definitely sounds like he's fun. So the sex trafficking is obvious, but it's again, I'm like, well, no one else is being indicted. It's like, that's the thing. What about the time Clive Davis did similar behavior throughout the years? And we've heard that about different recording artists. So like, what would never just all that shit's gonna escape anyone else watching global media? Roach out. No, I ain't watching that shit. Candace Owens not calling Weinstein An innocent man? I didn't know that. That's crazy. I'm watching Candace Owens. She gave Weinstein airtime. I mean, I don't know if I would go with innocent, but he certainly was a piece of a machine. Candace wants us to go back and good movies. He was a better exec than most, you know what I mean? Fortunately, cancer Biden. But yeah, that Biden, we talked a little bit about that Biden cancer stuff. It's like, damn, that shit came out of nowhere, or did it? Like, how long did y'all know this? He might go quick. Owens only has, yeah, she does have a fat ass. But yeah, I don't pay attention with that whole thing. Or talk about, even if, maybe she say something I agree with. Oh, it's based. I don't give a fuck. Good movies like condoning sex trafficking Hollywood actresses. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Going back to my original point I was trying to make, which I probably failed at. There's still sex trafficking Hollywood actresses. That didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? There's still sex trafficking Hollywood actresses and Hollywood personnel. There was a rumor that a lot of these, like the Cannes Film Festival, was a way for European millionaires and billionaires to spend the night with Hollywood A-list actresses. A lot of these festivals are a chance for that. So they were being prostituted out. We're talking about some of the biggest stars of the past 20 years, allegedly, being prostituted out. No one's going on charges for that. All the things that you hear about Hollywood that no one's getting charges brought up on, but just this one guy. It was just another guy that just is all him. And see, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, who else is going to get indicted? Who else is going to get charges brought up? Is it just this one guy? He whooped on this girl, made her drink pee, and so he's got to go to jail forever? Or is it Is it not just a organization and bad boy and whatever Puffy had, but an attitude and energy that powers the entire entertainment industry, down to the idea you don't get a contract unless you give up the butt cheeks, allegedly. So, I don't know. The media is just, they're all about the salacious details, which I guess on some extent, we're talking about it too, right? He's gonna do time, question how much, yeah. Life don't know about that. We'll see. And thank you again, Jammer. We're still watching the video. Still got the ways to go, but I gotta talk to you guys. You guys make the show. You are the show. You are the Senate. So I gotta talk to you. Does every other YouTuber talk to y'all in the chat? I mean, some I know a lot of us do, right? But y'all know how the big guys get. Pause. Went down here after the actors and actresses had to be bangable to get a job. I mean, a lot of these actresses was chopped, but man, I mean, you look at some of these girls. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. They look crazy. Hey, didn't take much warning from me. Like Candace, that whole right wing movement was fraudulent. The whole thing. That's what it turned out. They were grifters. That whole Daily Wire and say with what's the dude with the S curl who keep going to colleges. Charlie Kirk, all them motherfuckers, and then the whole, that shit was all fraudulent, man. It was just a bunch of motherfuckers trying to get some money. And Candace Owens got her wrist slapped because she said the wrong thing about the wrong group. You know who. And we'll see what happened with her. Even Diddy's limited hangout. I'm sure you know this intel ops. Yeah, that's what we're saying. It's CIA and Mossad. And we're never going to hear it. None of that's going to come in open trial. Watch T-Port. Oh, slop she served. Oh. What did Cosby give the state that gave him immunity? Well, he had, what it was is the conversation that he had that got the charges brought up allegedly was something that he was supposed to have already, but yeah, what did he give them to get the immunity in the first place? I don't know, but that was what it was. It's like he had a conversation based on, I'm immune, what I'll say in this conversation, and that's what they gave him charges on. But what would he say? I don't know. Maybe maybe the charges because of him giving somebody up. Who knows? The side, I think that era is over. I don't think I hope not. Girls still shaving the side of the head. That was a weird phase. James Comey's daughter is the prosecutor? Who's James Comey? But yeah, that's a good question, Ron. It says including the kids. Hopefully I didn't miss. But yeah, well, you talking about including the kids in Hollywood? Yeah, you're right. Actors, kids, it's a lot of people in Hollywood. And are they going to talk about the kids? You know, like I said, Justin Bieber's not going to testify. I doubt Usher testify to whatever Flavor Camp was in the early 90s, mid 90s, whatever the fuck that was. So who knows? And who knows? You know, there's a joke meme of you went to the Diddy party and they get signed. How many people we don't know of didn't make it big, but still went through some of this bullshit? And again, I'm not trying to let Diddy off the hook. That's not my point. My point is so many other people need to be put on the hook with him, and they're not going to be put on the hook. Morning Joe got his ass prolapsed by Megyn Kelly. I don't know who these people are. I know Morning Joe. Oh, that's what I was saying about Owen's political swing. Hard she made. Yeah, and then she used to be a leftist too. Used to dox people. Used to dox people. Entire entertainment industry is disgusting. We know this now. Yeah, we know it now. Which definitely causing the question of entertainment we grew up with. And yeah, this is not a recent phenomenon. They were doing this. In fact, a lot of early actresses for the first set of talkies, they were just LA prostitutes that the execs would hire. So the same, and that philosophy never changed. And Jay-Z, maybe Jay-Z was giving up, but for some reason he seems to be Teflon. They pick and choose who they gonna give up. Some people never get touched. Clive Davis never gets touched, but Weinstein gets given up. Dan Snyder never gets touched. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z never gets touched. Some guys just smooth out of it. I don't know. Unless Weinstein gives up the people he worked with and take them down, he can rot in jail. He's not going to. He'll probably get out. Oh yeah, the Aaron Carter. Some people think he didn't delete himself, but he was allegedly a Diddy victim when he was young, and a victim of just the industry. Because again, it's not just Diddy. Rachel Ziegler. Whew. That's what I'm saying. Like, whew. You know, I don't want to comment too much on a young lady, but she's got a weird looking face. It don't even look like all the chromosomes there. That's what I'm saying. Oh yeah. Said that they were never right wing. They were just dissatisfied liberal. Yep. That whole wave. They got a lot of people. They still got a lot of people to this day. To this day. Guess you could say all of it's grifted if it's not strictly grassroots. Yeah, that's true. And, well, this is just too. No one's really far right. That's true. Most are center left or right. Positions haven't changed. They got relabeled. Yeah, and it just got hot on the internet. It got real hot on the internet. It became a good way of, James Comey is the director of the FBI. Well, it lets you know that this has got some intelligence basis to it, going back to the blackmail thing. I did not know that. So James Comey, the director of the FBI's daughter, is the prosecutor. Wow. One of the guys that backed Russia Mueller report. Let's see. Tweeted out 8647 and pulled Bappy. What does that mean? I think we should make Weinstein Diddy the new host of The View. See what happens. Why not? Don't feel bad for nobody. You went to the party because you was a freak. Yeah, I feel you on that. You can always tell them no. Morning Joe released a book about the White House, lying to the media and about his cotton decline. He even had his footage for 2024 thrown in his face. Let's see. So, yep, James Comey, FBI director, Russiagate, 100 other deep state ops. His daughter's the fucking prosecutor. It just lets you know what this that's just your hint that, you know, no matter what we hear, and yeah, they are going to convict this guy. Even we're only a couple minutes in, I'm convinced they're going to convict him now. The James Comey being the FBI, that means no matter what the case is, maybe they got a strong case, but they're going to convict this motherfucker. Yeah, you barely see kids in the Bronx getting touched. Yeah, like these people always getting jumped. You see the Tory Lanes bullshit. Like people in the hood don't get into trouble. Y'all get into. DSS, pool balls. No worries. Oh, talking about this early in the 80s. Yeah, Bill Cosby was everyone's living room. Everyone brought Bill Cosby to their home, not knowing that he probably might put a pill in the pudding pop. And, you know, this is just one of many guys we ain't know shit about. Remember Jared, the fucking Subway guy? Bro, Subway literally rebuilt his whole brand based upon this weird motherfucker. And he was deadly. People forget about him. He was so big, they lost stock when he went away. They brought him back before the scandal popped off. Unreal. Hillary Clinton email server. Whoa, that was James Comey. We need a book about the obvious shit. Yeah, I guess we do. You know, have it put to text, put to, you know, movable type, and off an internet server. So yeah, actually, I would say yeah, we do. We'd probably need everything in print, and not just server dependent. Honestly, everything we could get, because only God knows. Think about how much of history can be changed through the internet if there's no text, print basis of anything that's being said. You could, especially as internet dependent as we are, you could literally manipulate people and tell them a past that didn't happen, which they already do. But I mean, look how much more power you have without text. Only times you see a teacher smashing students, most like a female teacher. She wanted that shit. I see a gym teacher for getting jumped for being weird. It's mostly female teachers. And a lot of these teachers do need to get jumped for being weird. Fuck these dudes. His footage was him saying Joe is a perfect hell. So he was talking bullshit like Joe is good, and then wrote a book talking about his decline. That's crazy work. A female student? I see. You remember the Subway guy? He was after the youth? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you didn't hear about that? Jared, the Subway guy, was famous for losing weight, eating Subway, and it was a big part between him and the $5 footlongs. Subway ran the late 2000s, mid 2000s to late 2000s. And you saw them pop up everywhere. It was one of the hottest franchises you could own. It was an easy, cheap franchise to own. Everyone had a Subway. They still have them everywhere. But he was one of the main catalysts of that brand. And yeah, he was. I think he's still in jail for touching the youth. Morning Joe pretending he had no idea. Well, that's what happens when you're a partisan, and that's what happens when you toe the company line. And yeah, I think at least 50% of teachers are on some level, or rather documented or not, pedos. I'm just say the word. I don't believe Jared, the Subway guy, graced somebody like he couldn't beat a roach. He was apparently messing with the youth. Oh no, I think he had Prime. I think he had Kitty Prime. I know I just said I'm censoring myself, but I censored myself there. He had pictures of the youth, I think is what it was. Don't trust your lying guys. Said it's all right. Let's get back into this. Like I said, I'm already a little convinced that they're gonna convict him. I just want to see if anybody else is going down with him.
Model, and she was the one who participated in a lot of these freak-offs. She said too many to count. Now, she is seen on video getting beaten by Diddy, and she testified to the abuse, the sex trafficking, and the prostitution that was going on from state to state. You also have Dawn Richard, who was a former member of Danity Kane, the girl group created by Combs, and she also was in a group with Combs himself called Dirty Money, and she saw some of the abuse that occurred between Combs and Cassie. And last but not least, you have an agent from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
What's going on with what is this? Who's drawing this shit?
Between Combs and Cassie. And last but not least, you have an agent from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. These are the people who conducted the raids on Diddy's houses, and they testified to the drugs and all the other debauchery they found in the house. All right, so now you know the witnesses. Let's get into the charges found in the house.
Okay, so there's drugs, guns. So they at least got drug possession for sure.
people who conducted the raids on Diddy's
Probably some sort of
houses,
trafficking.
and they testified to the drugs and all the other debauchery they found in the house. All right, so now you know the witnesses. Let's get into the charges. First, let's start with the easiest one to prove, which is transportation to engage in prostitution. That's 18 U.S.C. section 2421, and they are counts 3 and 5. Now, this is known as the Mann Act. Now, the Mann Act, that's two elements the government has to prove. One, you transported someone between states, and you intended for that person who you transported across state lines to engage in prostitution. So let's start with the first element, interstate transportation, which is, I think, easy to prove. First, they had Cassie.
It means the world that
Man, fuck you in this ad. The fuck? Jeez. Nathan, that is a lot of powder. Just fucking ad. I have an ad blocker browser. I should have used that. I don't know. Okay, we're back. Hold on. All right. Let me just hit play. Go back a little bit and hit play. Oops.
First, they had Cassie go up and describe how she was being flown to multiple states by Diddy to LA, NYC, Vegas, Miami, all for these freak-offs. And then you also had Daniel Phillip. Remember the sex worker? He described being brought to various cities by Combs and Cassie's request. And he was paid for sex on those trips. So it seems like the government has put up some proof that, yes, people were transported across state
that seems
lines
pretty
by Combs
cut and dry.
knowingly. Now, they had to prove the intent for prostitution. Well, how did they do that? Well, again, they brought Cassie Ventura off, and she testified that she was involved in these freak-offs, the sex parties. They were planned by Combs. There were multiple sex workers there, and she recounted specific events in New York. By Combs, there were more.
Uh-oh, who's this? Hey, J-Lo, Jenny from the block. Uh-oh, who's this guy? Is this Jigga Jay-Z? Uh-oh. See, but I don't just want these celebrities partying like this still 1990 anything. I really want some names. I wish we had some politician names. I wish we had I really want the, like, I know Cotton said, I want the Epstein list. I want there to be some real consequence, not just a bunch of sensational bullshit with these evil, washed up losers, man. I really want something that's going to mean something, but I don't think I'm going to get it. Let's see what we got, though.
Multiple sex workers there, and she recounted specific events in New York and LA where these sex acts occurred. Also, they had Daniel Phillips testify about the sessions and the sex acts that he had in various cities, in various hotel suites paid for by Combs, which confirms the interstate travel for prostitution piece. Remember, he said he was paid to have sex with Cassie for these freak-offs. So when it comes to transportation to engage in prostitution under the law, it seems like the government has checked
Okay,
both
so yeah,
those
I would
boxes.
agree with that
They have
based
two
upon the
witnesses
evidence.
and more that are going to testify about the freak-offs being.
So okay, I agree with that. But I still feel like there should be other people who are charged, and I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see. I guess we'll get through the video to see what he says about that part. You know what I mean? The proof of enterprise and all that. Come on, the skinny dude. 14 could whoop him. They have to draw when no cameras are allowed. Some procedures are closed. But, like, can't they draw better? Aren't there better artists than that? It just seems like they just sketching anything. It look like crayon. Like a kid do that. Yeah, it's a lot of powder. I have a bunch of ad block. Yeah, fuck YouTube. That is a weird thing, but that is there's an argument about how they let sex workers off the hook and always convict the pimps and the Johns and the women. But I mean, you know, this one sad looking dude, he was a sex worker too. But you're right, she could have stayed home. She could, and that's again, how come no one else is being convicted? shouldn't she be charged as being a sex worker as a part of this criminal organization? But they treat sex workers as victims, even though you could argue they're also operatives of the organization. So that's a whole nother can of worms altogether. But as far as the case of did Diddy transport people to have sex for money, that's true. And actually that element is something that people have talked about with a lot of rappers and high profile personalities in general. Yeah, we've heard all the stuff about massages and prostitutes, but just going on Instagram, finding some random thought and her flying out, and then you give her a bag, you give her like a Birkin bag, and you just flew out some hoe from Iowa, because you if it ain't snowing, you ain't going. So shout out to Iowa. So you back up D lineman in the league. You fly out some hoe to Iowa and give her a Birkin bag. Did you just do the same crime as Diddy? Maybe. Maybe you just transported this woman across state lines for the purposes of paying for sex. Maybe they got a case. And so a lot of these grimy rappers and athletes and celebrities who have done this type of activity, well, you know what I mean? Are they going to be able to be put in trial, something like that, because of a similar situation? Maybe. Yep, J-Lo and Jay-Z, fuck them both. I want the ones that went after kids. I kind of do too, yeah, but I mean, what's his name is not going to testify again. Justin Bieber's not going to testify, or allegedly isn't. So I'm sure we will never hear nothing about the kid shit. I'm sure that shit's going to be buried, unfortunately. And that's really my point. They're going to put this fucker in jail, throw away the key, and this story's really going to not really have the closure it deserves as far as how widespread this is, all the victims, because a lot of victims got something to hide. We all intellectually know Justin Bieber's a victim, but if it's not on the court record, then it didn't happen. Kashmir Patel and Joyner are super base. They'll get all the sickos, or maybe not. I do not know who they are, small time public, but I appreciate you being here. Rasheed Rice clinked up because he throws passes to Mahomes. And we think the world's supervillain. That's true. Yeah, supervillains ain't going nowhere. You're right, Brandon Holland. So she was freaking off at the same time. Yeah, she deserved to get the shit beat out of her. They're going quick. They're trying to that's true. They are going quick. They capture moments of art. Fair enough. I paid for YouTube Premium. Can't go back. Fair enough. She would have made a deal for her testimony and got immunity. That's probably correct. Your Honor, I could have said no, but it was a lot of money. Basically, sex slaves are victims. Slave, yeah. Slave is one thing. She wasn't enslaved. She's not somebody who couldn't have just said, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to leave and just go home. But it is what it is. And I don't want to downplay the stuff that happened to her, but it seems like a lot of things that she consented to and wanted to be a part of. I've even heard the point made that she's one of his few girlfriends that you're hearing anything about, and that other women were able. And I'm not trying to blame this person, but like, I kind of am. It's like, wait a second, I don't think you're so innocent in this whole thing. And I think you were there for the ride when the money was flowing, and when it wasn't, it was. And not saying you deserve to get your ass beat and all that other abuse and all the shit you face, but you didn't stop it. You were like, how long did it take for you to finally stop it? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think she was a slave. I think she was a willing participant. She could have just said, you know what, I'm gonna just live. But a lot of these people, unfortunately, want to be a part of that life, want that celebrity life, want to stay in these nice hotels until they getting kicked out in the hallway. She was scared for her career. Yeah, she was scared for her career, force of course, anyway. But, she could have said, you know what, I'm not going to do this. But no, this is that's not these are our deals that they make. They always get people to talk. Usher spoke to the kid shit and testify. Oh, Usher kid. I think Usher got abused too, probably. I think way more. I think a bunch of other kids have gotten abused. A bunch of other young people gotten abused. And again, I think it's an industry-wide thing, and they're not going to get anything. Nobody higher than Puffy's going to go to jail. Probably nobody other than Puffy's going to go to jail. They are the new FBI guys that talk big before getting into office. Let's see, the coercion. BS. I don't think she. Not the only. I think there's more. She had a choice to leave. That's fair. That's I gotta be. She did not deserve to get her ass beat down the hallway, but she's definitely no angel. Neither is J-Lo. Neither is everybody. Everybody can't be. Oh, we were all victims. No, y'all were freak off participants. And we'll see if the kids' stuff get bought up. And we'll see, again, is anyone else going to jail besides Diddy? And maybe they say that in this video. Because I really want other people to go to jail besides Diddy. Go to jail. I don't think that this should be, if justice were anything close to being served, this would be the start of many, 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 many trials. But this is America. Like you said, I don't remember who Rasheed Rice is for some reason. My stream brain. I'm assuming he's an NFL player. And I remember Henny Ruggs. I mean, you're right. Some of the shit the NFL players get away with, and they just, NFL players. You think this fucking Mossad agent, you think everybody's going to go down in this fucking intelligence operation? Hell no, that's not about to happen. All right, let's keep going.
Flown out to multiple states to have commercial sex. Next, we're going to look at the sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion charges. How has the government in this first week put on evidence to show this? The elements for sex trafficking is the defendant knowingly caused a person to engage in a commercial sex act. The means of coercion was either force, threats of force, fraud, coercion, or anything that would get someone or force someone to engage in a commercial sex act. And then it had to be done across state lines. So let's start with the first element, knowingly engaging.
So, I mean, just seeing that, given what was already proven, we can already kind of see where this is going. I mean, obviously he did, at the end of the day, he did put his hands on Cassie and make her do some of this stuff. She could have walked away from the life, but there are instances and acts of him forcing her to be a part of this, and hence he probably is going to jail. But we'll see.
The government put on any evidence to show that Diddy knowingly caused a person to engage in commercial sex acts. Well, just before we get into that, let me define what a commercial sex act is. A commercial sex act is any sexual act in exchange for something of value: money, drugs, housing, career opportunities. So how did the government show this first week that Diddy knowingly caused someone
How did Diddy
to
dye his
engage
hair
in
back?
commercial sex acts? Well,
Wasn't it gray
they put
in one of
up
these other
Cassie
pictures?
Ventura, and
Never
she
mind.
testified that Combs was the one who orchestrated the freak-offs, watched, recorded, gave instructions, paid the escorts. Even though Cassie didn't receive any payments, she said her career opportunities or her job was in jeopardy because she was expected to participate. She was flown to multiple different cities and complied out of fear. Also, we have Daniel Phillip, the male escort. He testified that he was paid about $4,000 in some instances to have sex with Cassie on multiple occasions in multiple different states. He claimed that Combs was in the room directing them, sometimes recording. These sessions took place in hotels. He did everything from the payments, the setup, the location. He also confirmed the transactional nature of all this.
I fucked up. Sorry about that. I'm muted. I'm sure I got like 1,000 messages telling me I'm muted. Okay, so I was trying to see, the reason I went out here, I was trying to see if I could skip ahead, because here's where I'm at. Between the first couple segments, we've proven that, for better or worse, Diddy, he coerced people to have sex for money, and he flew them across different states. I still don't see a criminal organization, though, right? I can see the coercion. I can see the legal argument. I can see why he's going to jail as a payer of prostitution, right? He's coordinating prostitution for himself and for these parties, right? But I don't see a criminal organization. And I see something like, you know what I mean? Like, I see that he paid people to have sex with each other and with other people and with him. It is still early. But I don't see a criminal. There are regular humans who paid a couple of OnlyFans models. You know what I mean? There's like assistant managers at Walmart who can afford to pay a couple local OnlyFans models to screw them, and maybe they go on a trip to Miami or a trip out of state. Hasn't that man committed the same thing they just proved Diddy's guilty of? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you should do that, and I'm not saying that everybody's doing it. That's just some normal shit. But there are people who, especially in the post-OnlyFans world where a lot of girls are for sale, you find out the local girls in your area, and you got enough money, you too, if you're willing to spend, can have a couple of young ladies to spend the night with. So is that because that sounds like what Puffy's been, that's what we're alleging. Do they even mention that he was taping them in secret? I don't know. Now that's something else too, taping people in secret. I know there's different laws regarding that. Just found out about billionaire getting off doing unspeakable shit to his underage stepdaughter. S.C. Johnson? Wow. Didn't even have to register $6,000 fine. That's sick. Like, some of these like cats should go to jail. Potentially the prosecution is going to want their testimony to bury Diddy more. So they make deals to get more dirt. Yeah, unfortunately, that's a common thing, which honestly, it wouldn't shock me if Diddy was an informant. Anyway, yeah, I would like to see Clinton's, Gates, Obama's, or whoever else, other names of people that we didn't know of. I mentioned just some of the celebrities type, like the Michael Rubins or the Clive Davises, Leo Cohen's, allegedly. I don't even know if I can say the guy's name on the internet. If you know who Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park is alleged to be related to, those type of motherfuckers. And those are the type of motherfuckers we don't even know of. Those shakers and movers in D.C. who they're a part of the Republican Party, they're a part of the Democratic Party, and they don't have a job, they don't run for no position, but they just shake and move things. These Frank Underwood type dudes. Shout out to also confirmed pedophile fucking Kevin Spacey. Frank Underwood was the character he played on that Netflix show. But she's a victim in beating the case, not in getting railed by strangers. Sing career case. That was a choice. Poor woman still. Yeah, exactly. But by the letter of the case, by what is being, she is an alleged victim. But yeah, she definitely made her own choices. I don't feel sorry for her, is my whole point. Fear of losing her career opportunity. That's, there's a lot of things. There's people who said no, they just ended up broke. So it's like you want to live that life. I'm not saying it's good for somebody to do all that shit to you. He's a piece of shit, but you ain't necessarily clean either. That was fucking crazy. S.C. Johnson. And then try to boycott S.C. Johnson. Look at all the shit they own. These evil people can run around doing whatever they want. But yeah, that is coercion. She's not paying for it and made to participate in it. If you pay someone, you consent and they consent. Yeah, but that's just, I just said it. Sick people. Yeah, fuck Kevin Spacey. I was struggling with the name, but fuck him. Yeah, Satanists, Luciferians, real demonic people. Cops will use anything to get to you, say small time, including recording you in an interrogation room with you alone. That's true. Never talk to Popo without a lawyer. Just never. Say nothing. Yeah, never be alone with a cop. Never. Always have a lawyer present. Say nothing. I want my lawyer, and you just wait for your lawyer. And upgrade from the, get the best lawyer you possibly can. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Ziploc. What's going on with Ziploc? But yeah, we'll see. I kind of want to skip. Oh Jesus, the Lysol commercial. What I want to see is if you can. Where's the proof of an organization? All you've proved is he's a freaky dude, and maybe he's an abusive dude too. Testified Ventura was on her computer when Combs called her. She told him hold on a second, and then a bottle flew past her and struck the wall. Testified Combs walked over to her and dragged her by the hair to the bedroom. It sounded like she was slapping her. That does sound fucked up. Again, don't feel too sorry because she kept going back because she wanted to be a star, but it is still fucked up. I'm not trying to say this is acceptable behavior. This guy's a piece of shit. So, and he does seem to be abusive. I'm skipping through some of it.
And she wanted to leave. Again, that shows the force part of forcing someone.
Okay, so there were instances where she wasn't allowed to leave. That is kidnapping. Rather you think that. Remember, OJ got put in jail eventually for that because they were trying to steal back his own stuff and he wouldn't let him leave. They were considered kidnapping. That's what he actually went to jail for.
Into sex trafficking. Combs tried to stop her from leaving. Again, physically. So that's force again. Combs' demeanor was described as cold and dangerous. The security guard said he stared at me like the devil. This shows, again, physical violence and emotional control, coercion, threat of force, and
staring at me. Okay, whatever. Like, where's the criminal organization? He's an abusive boyfriend into freaky shit, and he used his money for this freaky shit. Where is
state lines? So now we've shown how the government is trying to prove transportation to engage in prostitution. We've also shown how the government is trying to prove sex traffic by force, fraud, or coercion. Now let's look at how the government is trying to prove the racketeering conspiracy. Now, for racketeering conspiracy, first you have to prove the existence of the enterprise or the mob or the gang. And here they're saying the existence of the organization is Combs Enterprises, Bad Boy Entertainment. These are the companies and organizations that Combs used to facilitate his freak-offs and his sex trafficking. Next, you're going to be looking for whether there was an agreement to participate. The defendant had to know this negative stuff was going on. He had to know the freak-offs were going on, know the prostitutes were being paid and flown across the country. Have the government, or can the government prove this agreement or that the defendant knowingly agreed to participate in these criminal activities? Now, the last element for the racketeering conspiracy is you have to show a pattern of racketeering activity, meaning that there's at least two acts of what they call RICO predicates. They're also known as racketeering activity, and they had to have occurred within the last 10 years. Now listen, that's just a convoluted way of saying there's a list of crimes, and if we can prove that you committed 2 of these crimes, then you can go to jail for life under RICO. Now, I need people to understand.
This still seems, okay, he's probably about to, let me talk.
Since this is a RICO conspiracy, Combs doesn't even have to know if any of those other crimes are actually being committed to be held accountable under the RICO conspiracy statute. So now let's look at the list of crimes that the government is alleging that.
So this is the stuff that doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel quite right. And I'm not a lawyer. And again, this also makes you wonder, like, goodness, how much can they stretch to get a conviction out of something? Again, Puffy's no innocent person. He's not somebody who deserves anything. But it doesn't seem like a real criminal organization is being. It's just, hey, he has some businesses and he used the money for some businesses to pay some people for some freak offs. Is that what you raid people's houses for? And he just had a bunch of crazy parties. That's it? There was no one else involved. No one else helped him. And, he was just his assistants. I don't know, man.
P. Diddy Combs has committed that falls into this pattern of racketeering activity. Now, I put them in a nice chart, and this is from the indictment. You got kidnapping, arson, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, sex trafficking, prostitution, transportation.
Does anyone else feel weird about this? Like that part? Like, this doesn't feel like a criminal. It just seems like one guy doing. How can it be a one-man organization? These are felonies, though. Ziploc is SC Johnson. I see. He agrees with police to speak. It's all on the table, all of it. Yeah. Yeah, you can't say, officer, let me explain. I was done talking to sheriff deputies. In a manslaughter investigation with our lawyer, they played good cop, bad cop. Wow. I knew I was innocent, but yeah, you can't, that's a mistake. He said it was 2017. I'm sorry to hear that. And oh man, sorry to hear that your wife OD'd on heroin. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Saying there was never a point where you are moving your mouth. Yeah, you really shouldn't. Cops are super dirty. But watching this dude, civil rights lawyer, he's got a couple videos a week. Cops being violent, lying, rights breaking ass. So yeah, they are liars. There's videos of them planning shit. Cops are. I don't see how people could just blindly back to blue. Just do the opposite of whatever they tell you to, though. Ziploc is a SC Johnson. They got a bunch of different brands, though. SC Johnson, unfortunately. This was not cool. No one deserves any of this. Oh, yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a name that should be heard in that. And again, sorry again for your loss, man. It's wild to watch cops start off by talking about the weather and sports and ease right into crime discussion. So RICO comes with a life sentence. Didn't know that. I didn't know that either. These are felonies. Seems like it's all there to me. I'm not saying the impression people have nothing is being proven. Yeah, I guess looking at it, stuff is definitely being proven, but it definitely, I think what it is part of it is people talking prior cases and prior RICO cases, and we saw a lot more evidence in a recent one in the hip hop, the Young Thug case, right? There was a lot more evidence that a criminal organization was taking place and committing crime. A classic organized crime case was made, even though, obviously Young Thug got off. Pause. That was a very apparent thing. This seems to be stretching this prostitution angle and taking certain acts. Like I heard about this arson thing. It's probably going to deal with Cudi, where Diddy allegedly blew up his car. But it's crazy. And another thing with Young Thug, there was co-defendants and there was other people. It's like there's just one guy. It's just the head of this organization. No one else is going to jail with him. Like no one else is involved with this. And the only thing you're really going to have on record with all the stuff that's rumored, with all the child stuff, with all the different celebrity stuff, all the different celebrities who are also participating, is that, another guy who's sex trafficking to nobody with no clients. We got another sex trafficking to nobody getting convicted. This seems crazy to me. And maybe, we got 3.5 minutes, maybe this next 3.5 minutes, I'll see something to get closer. Yeah, I'm not sold on them meeting the RICO threshold, but I'm not a lawyer. It seems like the RICO threshold may be a lot lesser than just what I think it is. It might be just a lot lesser than what I think it is. None of the people who have been going. Yeah, no one who went to these parties are going to jail. No one. But that doesn't mean the government doesn't have enough for a conviction. It doesn't mean he's going to get off. Pause. And you're doing better. I'm glad you're doing better, bro. You said time heals. It has been, 7 years. So that definitely sounds rough. I'm glad you're doing better, brother. Your prayers. The RICO column think they can bag him on most of those listed. A lot of it they can't. I'm sure. We already know the forced labor, the sex trafficking, and the prostitution. That stuff does seem pretty strong. And we've heard rumor, and even kidnapping is in relation with that. We already saw the drugs. We already know about the spiked baby oil. So drug trafficking, I'm sure there's going to be bribery and obstruction of justice. And I just talked. So yeah, he probably can get got on all these crimes. I don't know. It looks like, listen, they're going to put him in jail. They're going to put him in jail. Nobody else is going to jail. We'll hear a few names. We'll look at them different, but no one's going to jail besides Puffy. I was hoping for more than that. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. And maybe I won't cover it too much because it's already disturbing enough. And it just seems like, nobody else is going to jail but this asshole. So, whatever. Let's finish the rest of this up.
Drug distribution. Now, from this list, the government only has to prove 2 of these things happened within the past 10 years from this enterprise. Now,
and that's going to be fairly just they kind of just the acts they've already talked about prove that. We'll see if they link it up to his enterprise, but we'll also see if they link it up to anyone else's name but his being a criminal.
Arson, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, sex trafficking, prostitution, transportation, drug distribution. Now, from this list, the government only has to prove 2 of these things happened within the past 10 years from this enterprise. Now, from this list of charges, the government, I think, has for sure proven transportation for prostitution. They have the prostitutes up there saying, yeah, we were traveled from New York to Miami to engage in these freak-offs and get paid for it, right? So 13G seems to be well on its way to being proven. And then we also have the sex trafficking allegations. We not only have Cassie's sex trafficking allegations, we have some other women. Now, what about 13H? Drug distribution. There were drugs at these parties. Both the escort and Cassie testified to it. The raids on Diddy's homes. The Homeland Security person also testified that they found illegal drugs in Diddy's properties.
So, you look at this stuff, they already got enough to convict him. I think they probably already got enough. I do think Jama's made their point about how it's like, no, they do got a good case. Now, you can argue, again, are they I definitely feel like they're scapegoating this guy. I definitely feel like it. Not saying you should feel sorry for him. That's not my point, but there's, Dr. Claw's going to get away with it. And one of his minions is going to be known as the diddler. But the real bosses, the real people who really organize these parties and who organize these parties in lieu of Diddy, those motherfuckers are going to get away scot-free. And even their clients are going to get away scot-free. We'll see the pictures. Some of them will get some shame, but nobody's going to jail.
Along with the 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
And it doesn't look like, one thing I don't see on this, anything to do with the youth. I don't see anything to do with the youth. So that's not going to be brought up either. So,
a bribery of a witness. The hotel security guard said that Diddy tried to hand him a wad of cash and told him to keep quiet. Well, is this bribery? And if it is, that's a RICO predicate. Now remember, the government doesn't have to prove them all. They just have to show 2 of them. And I think they are well on their way to showing more than 2 of these RICO predicates in the Combs case. Now, it's important to note, this was just week 1 of the trial.
How much should good...
God damn it. What's this whole talking about? I ain't talking about nothing. So, musty hoe. All right. Let's finish this shit up.
RICO predicates in the Combs case. Now, it's important to note, this was just week 1 of the trial. These were just the first couple of witnesses. So we have a lot more to go. And then we also have the defense putting up their witnesses to show that this didn't happen or this may be a mistake. But listen, if there's anyone out there saying that the government hasn't proven anything, hasn't shown anything, it's essentially just a disaster, they don't know what they're talking about. Because if you just take the elements and the witness testimony and see what the government's trying to do, it's clear the government is on its way to what looks like a conviction that can put this man in jail for life. And even if you don't believe Cassie, for instance, they have another witness who's saying something similar happened to her. If you don't believe the one escort, guess what? They have a whole bunch of other escorts coming to testify about their experiences. So this is just not a one witness case. The government has given themselves a whole bunch of avenues to gain a conviction in this case. And again, like I'm going to say it, I think transportation to engage in prostitution, I think they've essentially proven that. And the more people they get on to show that they transported them from different places across the country to engage in freak-offs, they have that in spades.
Just pausing to see, like, see Leo. Is that Q-Tip? Who is this? That almost look like one of the Clinton aides. What's it, is it Uma Aberdeen or some shit? He talked about this hoe. I don't know who these hoes are. A lot of planks. Let's see.
The counts of sex trafficking by force, you may want to quibble about it, but I think they are either close to convincing a jury that they got that, or they've already done so. And the racketeering conspiracy charges, if you agree with count 2, that transportation to engage in prostitution, and count 3, the sex trafficking by force has been proven, then it essentially gives you the racketeering conspiracy as a bonus. Now, if you guys don't agree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comments section. Say, hey, Nate, this...
I still feel, like I said, the racketeering still feels a bit. It looks like they only have to prove a couple of those things happen, right? They didn't really prove that this is a criminal organization or that his organization did this. Like, they could have, with this stuff, they could have got a conviction out of Vince McMahon. It'd have been easier to get a conviction out of Vince McMahon, right? Because the girl was an employee of his company. I guess because it wasn't as widespread, though. It was just one bitch. And maybe that's where the difference between Vince and Diddy. Because it just sounds like a freaky dude who put a lot of money into his freakiness and his drugs based upon what has been presented. But it also does seem like it's a case. So you are right. And that perception of there not being a strong case definitely seeing what case they need. I mean, it don't seem like they need much of a case. They only need 2 of those. Let's see. So they'll get them on something. They'll get them on something. Other people definitely need to be held accountable. Yeah, that's my big thing. I'm not trying to cape for Diddy. He knows what he did, and he deserves to. He definitely deserves his. He deserves probably to be in jail for the rest of his life, but he ain't the only one. And the no co-conspirators feels weird. It feels like they're just using them as a patsy. Using them as a patsy for an intelligence program. All the blackmail, all the data. I don't know if anything's been talked about, all the data, all the hard drives. They're probably already wiped. And no problem, Scrambles, man. You the man. It seems like a low bar. But he's probably going to jail. He's still probably going to jail. Agree to sus more people are in that. So that's my thing. They don't want to go down that road. Who knows? Nice and clean. Diddy's a monster. No one's going to think past it. Exactly. Nice, clean. Diddy's a monster. Put him in jail for 100 years. He's not going to talk because he wants to. He still wants to live. He's not going to tell nobody nothing. Jay-Z will never have to answer for anything. Clive Davis never had to answer for anything. It was all Diddy. Just like it was all Weinstein. Nobody in Disney has to answer for anything. Nobody at any other company has to answer for anything. It's all Weinstein. That's what they do. They put these patsies who aren't angels, but they're patsies. All that state line shit, I don't know. It's further from San Diego to San Francisco than Phoenix to Vegas. And then you got to think they're in the New York area. You go from New York to Connecticut to New Jersey to all that shit all the damn time. DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, and their crew. They definitely like fun with random girls, and they also like them pretty young. Maybe they were of age, maybe they weren't. Small time. Yeah, Listler said that DiCaprio likes them young. Allegedly 18 to 25, but we don't know. We keep assuming it's 18 to 25. Maybe it's less than that. But we'll never know. It could have been less than that at one of these parties. We'll never know. And that's really my issue. Because it wouldn't shock me if it's less than that. He's no dummy. He knows people would judge him. But the judge can't. Who is she? Yeah. Gross. I think they have a full sweep. Yeah, he's going to jail. Going to a lot of friends of Jonah Hill. Yeah. He's another one of those guys that's always involved in some of these weird situations. Him, Seth Rogen. A lot of those weirdos. Just makes you love your boring life. It ain't nothing wrong with living a normal life. These celebrities and quote unquote high profile people, a bunch of weirdos, man. A bunch of shit eating weirdos. Sometimes the DA will overcharge so they can convict on whatever they possibly can. That's true too. Small time. He pissed off people hired, sacrificed. I think it's both, Jamma. He allegedly got into some dispute with the people who own Ciroc. And that's when all this information started to come out. Remember, this Cassie thing is from 2016 as far as the video of him whooping on this girl. We didn't hear about it till 2 years ago. We didn't see it till 2 years ago. So somebody held on that video for 8 years or whatever it was. Or it's been more than that, almost 10 years now. And so I think he pissed those people off, and they said, you know what? We just going to use you so we won't have to deal with a lot of other shit. Because all you is an agent anyway. We got other agents operating. We don't really need you anymore. Let's just shut this shit down. Let's just shut this shit all the way down. We'll blame you for everything. The people that get ahead to get chopped off in front of them, and we can go about a day. They'll make a bunch of jokes, and we'll keep the operating. We'll keep this shit running. And we'll keep doing evil shit, and ain't nobody gonna give a fuck. We'll keep doing evil shit, and we're not gonna get blamed for it. And how dare he try to get part of this liquor or whatever the fuck. So, I think it's both. You said free Diddy. I don't think that's happening now. Looking at that, I don't think he walking free. Unless he give up a name, and I don't think he giving up a name. Said Travis Hunter got what happened with Travis Hunter? I know he got that crazy bitch. He's going down. It's in everyone's interest. The states, the powerful people. Yeah. What was LeBron? Oh, yeah. What was LeBron up to? Ain't no party like a Diddy party. That's what he said. Post LeBron Lakers. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how long he wants to play. And we'll see what happens with him this year. I mean, this is a very disappointing year, getting Luka and not getting out the first round. We'll see. And the Retro Rich said 25. Well, you was the one most down on his playoff performance. Rich, you when the shit happened, you was ready to get rid of him too, Brian. We seen how they would take people down, take over their. Yeah, that's another thing. Licensing revenue stream. He obviously owned a lot of licensing and a lot of publishing, so that's always a thing. Y'all think that's a through line between Prince and Michael Jackson. Somebody else who doesn't get caught up. We don't think of in that same vein, but Tom Petty, who died around the same time as Prince. You telling me this guy went through the whole rock star cycle and in the 60s just said, I'm going to do fentanyl? The fuck? Same with Prince. It's just these guys in their 50s, 60s, after all the rock star shit they did, so it's time to do Fetty? Fuck out of here. Or you want all that music publishing, and you can get it for cheap now that you whacked one of these motherfuckers. I just totally don't believe some 60-year-olds just gonna start some 60-year-old millionaires gonna start being on fentanyl. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. But I am one thing I am about to buy is probably some sleep. I'm sorry I have not streamed that much. I will try to stream again tomorrow. But I am about to get out of here. I really appreciate that you guys still show up. Lord knows this algorithm is goofy. Check out the videos as I post them. If you remember, you get them early. I posted a video the other day about which Take-Two property is worse. And I meant to emphasize that a little bit more in the video, but between 2K and their yearly model of Jank or the 20-year gap or whatever it's going to be in between GTA 5 and 6. You can talk about that. And I'll do videos as we get to them. Probably cut their usual shit with Fent, maybe. But I think a lot of these older celebrities were killed for their music catalog. But I'm just an ass on the internet. Take what I say with a grain of salt. So yeah, I'm stoked you're here, Jamma. So hopefully I can do more of these streams. Like I said, in a couple of weeks or in a week or so, I'm gonna be out of town. But I appreciate you guys being around. So it was fun. It was real. It was real fun. Hopefully I can talk to you guys again. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, you just sat here and watched me talk, I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. And thank you for your time. Good night. God bless. Talk to all you guys later. And gals. Peace.